Hello, and thank you everyone for joining us today for the Mealtime Mayhem in Multipet households. So to start it off, I think we all have, or many of us have our own multiple pet home, or if we don't, then our friends and family do. It could also be any of the above with the addition of fosters, pet visitors, or pet sitting clients that we may have in our home. So, the benefits of in-home pet sitting versus boarding is that they are going to be in a home environment versus a kennel. There could be other dogs being boarded in that kennel at the same time, whereas if they are in a home environment with in-home pet sitting, we can provide personal attention and great one-on-one time. This allows them free time to roam versus being in a kennel for probably more than they may be used to. When they have the benefit of in-home pet sitting for pets, we can definitely make sure that we are ensuring food and water intake is at a normal intake, and that play and exercise is happening as they are used to versus scheduled walks, and again, a longer duration in a kennel that they are probably used to when they're at home. We have the ability to monitor for medical conditions that we may already be aware of them having, or be able to notice new or concerning medical changes in those dogs or any other pets while we're watching them. It can also be financially efficient for owners of, multiple pets and exotic or pocket pets, as they can all be watched in the same area by the same person. We also offer the benefit of the communication with pet sitter, which I think is a wonderful benefit in easing the mind of those pet owners going wherever they may be going, that they have to leave their pets alone. We can send pictures or videos, real time updates of what they're doing at that moment and in that day. So some options for pet sitting could be in the pet's home, which is going to provide more comfort for the pet, but can be more challenging for the pet sitter as they have to be away from their own home and responsibilities. Or you can provide pet sitting in your home. This could be for single family pets at a time, or you can be bringing pets from multiple families to your house at the same time.
One more interruption. Technology is so fantastic. I don't think that the slide didn't advance like it was supposed to.
Oh no, goodness.
Gotta love it or hate it. Depends on the day and time.
Has it changed yet?
No.
I'm sorry, now I can't hear you.
Sorry, that was my fault. My finger was hovering over the button and I left stage. There we go. Current slide. There we go. Perfect.
Now it's on there. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Thank you. Our pet sitting duration can vary as well. Different durations for different occasions. So we could have day-to-day drop-ins, could have short-term like a weekend pet sitting, or more longer terms for our pet owners, pet parents that may be going on a vacation or just have an extended trip that they may need to go to. But even a quick day visit can involve at least one meal time. So this is important no matter what your duration of pet sitting may be. So some challenges we may come across as the pet sitter is that we may notice resource guarding in the pets that we're watching. We could see food refusal in our high fear, anxiety, stress patients or sickness. If they are a new client to us, we may be experiencing a new relationship with that animal as well as them experiencing that with us. And if we've decided to watch this new pet in their home, it's also going to be a novel environment for yourself and getting into the routine that this pet has already been into. There may be some challenges around pets that are free-fed, around others that may not be free-fed, or those with special diets, whether it be a veterinary prescribed diet or a food allergy that we need to take caution with. Our pets may also experience some challenges as well. Again, they could be in a new environment around new people that are watching them that they may or may not have a prior history with. And this involves new scents that they are not used to in the home, as well as other animals if the pet sitter has their own pets as well, which is pretty common these days. There's going to be a change in routine for everyone involved. Us ourselves, we're adding a new pet to our daily routine, as well as completely uprooting the pet that we're watching and changing everything that they have come to be used to. So there's a new person that's watching them for the day and they don't know how long. There's a new person feeding them, walking them, just taking care of them in general. And that can be a big change in a pet's life. We can consider if this is the first time the pet has been left alone or away from their parents at all, and you are essentially the pet sitter guinea pig. So you get to know all the first time behaviors and concerns that the pet may be experiencing, or even the owner may be experiencing, and leaving them alone. We also run the possibility of any of our pets that we are watching having separation anxiety that they can suffer from. So resource guarding is any distance increasing behavior that a pet may display over something that they have deemed important. Resource guarding can be done over food, people, space, or things like toys and bones. And it's good to ask the owners that if this has been shown before, to what extent. This can help you determine how to prepare these meals and when you're pet sitting them. And separation anxiety is going to be any fear, anxiety, or stress when alone or apart from their owners. This can range from mild to severe behaviors, like the pictures we've all seen online of the dogs chewing through the drywall. The owner may already be aware and have received medications from their veterinarians to help with these behaviors while they're away, as well as offering any personal tips and tricks that they have deemed to help ease the stress of their pet while they're away. So how pet parents can help prepare. And some of us are probably dual here, so we are pet parents and pet sitters. So these are things that we can do ourselves to help prepare when our pets get watched, and things we can also tell our clients to help teach their dogs when they need their pets to be watched. So crate training is going to be useful as a comfortable space with various uses. It's going to be a safe space for that pet to go, which is going to be compact and travel size so that they can bring it with them if they're going to a different house. Then this way they'll still have their safe space, safe crate to go to with their smells and blankets in it, so that they always have at least one spot to go that they can feel comfortable in. They can be fed here for confinement, and they can also be crated while the pet sitter enters the home if there is some kind of concern of stranger danger safety. We can use a wait and release cue as a wait to be fed and then released to the bowl. This is just going to help provide basic manners of not jumping all over the person that's feeding them. And if resource guarding is a potential problem here, we can have them wait away from the bowl while you walk away before you release them to eat that meal. We can have a mat, bed, or any kind of place cue, and this will give the dog somewhere to go while you are preparing that food. It's also providing them with a cue that they're comfortable with, which can help boost their confidence in that situation if they're not super familiar with the person that's feeding them at the time. Lists and videos for a pet sitter can help provide any kind of information needed on that pet's daily routine. To begin creating for you and that pet that is calm and peaceful, you can start with meeting the pets first before your pet sitting appointment. So meet where they will be watched at, especially if they're nervous. You can meet at their house first or other neutral locations multiple times prior to your pet sitting appointment.
Hi, Chelsea. Sorry, butting in again. Would you mind putting finding the slide that you're currently on?
Yes.
It looks like we're still on slide 3.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what's going on.
I know, it's the platform.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. And then maybe try doing, try clicking from current slide and see if that'll, like, in the top left corner.
Okay, yep, I have slide 10 up on my screen.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so hopefully we'll stay on track. If not, I'll butt in again.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, everyone. So our next thing that we can do to help is that the owner can describe the pet and typical routine. This is actually a screenshot of my 4-page list for my pet sitter, which is typically a friend that knows my pets and animals well. My pets and house well, my apologies. So it's still pretty long, even though they're familiar. And I say don't skip on details. Nothing is insignificant. I still find myself sending videos of minor details that may change from time to time of them being pet sat. So if something has changed from one vacation to the next, I'll send videos of any updates or changes that we've made. In these lists, we can talk about our pets' likes, dislikes, where to feed them, when to feed them, how much to feed them, any specifics that we may be doing with their food if it's not just a simple kibble in a cup. We can provide these details for a pet sitter here. And if we can make them simple and detailed, we'll be able to provide clear instructions for our pet sitters. And this way they'll be able to provide optimal care for your pets. We can also talk about if the pets are crated or free roam when they're home alone, if your pet sitter is also leaving. And this is also a good place to discuss and have written down medical or special needs for the pet. When we're talking with our owner about backup plans for maybe sensitive pets that may be experiencing more fear, anxiety, or stress when their owners are away, we may see food refusal from them. So we can talk to these owners about what is acceptable to add to regular meals that they may not normally get that will be enticing for them and get them to eat. If all else fails, we don't want to reach a point where they have refused water or food too long. So having an emergency contact to call that knows that pet well and will be able to come over and either take over pet sitting for you or just being another comfortable face that they feel like they can eat and drink in. Now that we're prepared with all the information our pet parent has given us, it's time to start feeding. If there are any medications that the pets we're watching may need, let's give those first separately from preparing the meals. This way we don't create any aversions with mealtime, their bowls, that space, or even the food. This may or may not be necessary, but it can be helpful with our sensitive, shy, fearful pets that we may be watching. It's going to be going the extra step to decrease or at the very least not add to any, again, fear, anxiety, stress that that pet may have while being away from their owners. These are great tools for barriers that I implore to have at your house and at your disposal. They come in different shapes and sizes and can be used for different areas. X pens are great for large open areas in creating a barrier. You can see in this picture here, it may be a little hard to see, but the two dogs in the picture are behind an X pen to keep them out of the open kitchen area while their meals are being prepped. You can also use door gates for singular rooms if you need to keep them out of a specific area or if you're feeding in that area and would like to keep them in. You can also use crates for single dog confinement, or if you have a slower eater that wants to go and graze everybody else's food, you can put them in a crate until everybody else is finished with their meal.
Slide again, the one that you were just talking about?
Yes.
From the kitchen area?
Yes.
I see slide 10.
All right. Let's see here. Better?
There. Yes, thank you. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Is it showing the other ones at all?
It seems like it sticks on the one slide and doesn't advance for some reason. So maybe we can just try to physically, when you're, instead of advance or the, button over, maybe just try clicking directly on the tile every time you advance. We'll see if that'll work.
Okay. I will
Perfect.
try that.
Thank you. Sorry about all the technical difficulties, everyone.
That's
It's all
okay.
this platform. Thank you so much.
We'll get there. So staying within a typical routine time frame is going to be great for providing the comfort of predictability for our pets without adding additional stressors. We may not be able to get it perfect, but that's okay. I hope that's working okay as far as showing everyone the slides. Being prepared is obviously a great way to begin for getting ready for mealtime. So know which pets are going to be getting which food type, what amount they're getting, if they have any specific dishes, and if your need barriers, have those ready. You can keep pets out of the meal prep area with any of those barriers we talked about. Pick up the bowls immediately after finishing their meal. And if there is an issue, a known issue with potential resource guarding around people, have caution when retrieving that bowl for your own safety. Call them away first, give them something else to do while you safely pick up that bowl. And cleaning up stray kibble to prevent others from sniffing it out and eating. So what about our free-fed dogs? In someone else's home, it can be challenging, especially with having multiple pets. We can do our best and meet them halfway by offering an open room or an entire floor of the house. Be sure to block the entrance and exits to that room to prevent disturbances, especially if they're shy eaters. We don't want them getting close to the food bowl, something coming up and bugging them and them shying away from it again. We can also provide a distraction for the other pets that are not included in the free feed, like a long-lasting chew or maybe some outside playtime. So our dogs on restricted diets, if they have food bowls just for them or their food type, have those marked and ready so there's no chance of confusion. We can wash our hands between handling kibble types if there's an allergy that we're trying to prevent from flaring up. And as well as picking up that stray kibble, that's another way to prevent an allergy flare up and having a reaction or preventing a potential resource guarding incident over stray kibble pieces. Caution when giving treats in these households, as not every pet is going to be able to have every treat that you may have. We can ask our pet parents to provide us with treats that are safe for their diet, or we can make sure that we're reading those labels safely or thoroughly and giving appropriate and safe treats for the pets that we are watching. So strengthening the bond with you and your pet patient between meals, we can, as always, respect their pet's body language. Do not force any touching, petting, or interactions if they are not ready for it. We can engage in their favorite activities based on their current comfort level. And enrichment is always a good option for creating positive associations. Oh, I did have a video. No. I apologize. Some potential activities that we can engage in with our pets that we're watching based on their comfort level could be quiet time with appropriate personal space for those just not ready with direct interactions with their new handlers and pet sitters. They may prefer this quiet time, so we can give appropriate personal space. And food enrichment is a great option for the pet engaging in activity while the human is at a safe distance and they have no direct interaction with the pet at this time. But just being able to be in the same space while eating and interacting is a great way to start that bond. Physical activities like maintaining walks or playing their favorite sports like tug or fetch, or we can provide mental stimulation like training for our eager learners. These are all helpful with creating and strengthening bonds as well as maintaining normalcy for the pet with a new person. Enrichment is great, especially our food enrichment, because this can help modify a conditioned emotional response, which is especially helpful with our shy and fearful pets. Also, eating is a stress indicator. So if they are not eating, we can very well assume that this pet is experiencing some amount of stress. And again, this is a great way to provide something for the animal to engage in while not being directly with the pet. It's great for mental stimulation of varied level of challenges based on the pet's experience. Some cats may prefer the solitary lifestyle, especially when their parents are away. They're specifically set in their routine, but they also may not feel comfortable enough around strangers to continue that. So you may need to ask about hiding spots, and being flexible with cats can include changing what may be their typical routine to what a typical routine with a stranger may be, like providing their food or water within these hiding spots for them, or offering it at various times throughout the day to ensure that they are eating and drinking, even if that means it's at their own pace. If you don't have a lot of experience with an exotic or pocket pet that you may be asked to watch, definitely ask that pet parent as many questions as you feel fit to feel comfortable. They should definitely leave you some sets of instructions that you can refer to and follow those very closely. They may be small enough that they will remain in an enclosed habitat. And if you have experience with these exotic and pocket pets, then you are able to care for them with the previous knowledge that you may have. Some signs of trouble to look for when specifically talking about feeding multi-pet households. I would encourage you to use those barriers if you feel that this may be a potential incident waiting to happen. And some things we can look for at the beginning could be hard stares from one or both pets involved. We can have freezing, so their movement stops suddenly. They can posture over the food or item that they are deeming their resource. We can notice vocalizations like growling and barking. They may lip curl and show their teeth, and this could be a complete escalation into a physical incident. These are some tools to have on hand for protection and peace of mind. And I'd first like to say, just stay calm. So you can start with a loud verbal interruption or clapping if we are at a stage that there has been no contact made yet, and we may still be able to interrupt and get them away from each other on their own. You can also use water to throw on them if a physical incident has occurred. Water and blankets should be available pretty normally at any house that you may be at. Blankets can be thrown over the pets in order to create a temporary visual barrier and confusion so that separation can occur. And if you want to have on hand and purchase on your own, just for, again, another peace of mind, Spray Shield is a citronella scented deterrent spray, and Pet Corrector is like an air horn, so it's very loud. So just know that if you are going to use that, it has the potential to affect every pet within hearing distance and not just the pets that may be involved in the altercation. I do hope this slide is showing up because it's a quick review on body language. So I'll give you all a minute to maybe type a few things out if you'd like to participate, what you're seeing in the left, middle, and right pictures. And I will go over what I see here in just a few seconds. So on the left, I'm seeing ears pinned back, a large yawn, lip licking, and the body is rolled away from the human taking the picture. So I can safely assume that this dog is experiencing some amount of stress while this picture was being taken. Our middle picture, we have ears pulled to the side, furrowed brows, a very hard stare in the eyes. The lips are curled with teeth showing. And if we could hear this picture, I think we could assume that some growling is happening. Whereas on the right picture, we see ears in the natural up position. Her eyes are looking, but they are soft. There's no furrowed brows, and she has a relaxed mouth and body position. So she is much more comfortable in the right picture versus the left. Some quick takeaway key points for tonight. Get to know the pet you're watching beforehand if they're a new client to you, as well as maintaining that relationship, whether it be between meals or between pet sitting appointments. Try to maintain their routine as best as possible. Separate to feed, if only for safety and peace of mind. Clean up immediately to prevent any after meal altercations. Respect body language during meal times or during times when you are choosing to interact with these pets. Engage in their preferred activities to help make them feel more comfortable and in a normal state of mind. And keep safety first, whether that's for you or the pets.